Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is the Narcissistic Resistance, and this resistance video is sponsored by contribution from Anonymous, and here's her story. Hi, Ollie. I sent a donation through PayPal. I hope I did it correctly. It's not much. I'm sorry, but I'm in the middle of a legal thing with my ex, and money is tight for me, even with help from my folks. I can try to give you a glimpse and hope I don't make this too long. Maybe I should divide my letters to you rather than spit it all out at one time. I've been watching your videos for about the last year once I learned what NPD was. That's when I searched YouTube and stumbled on your channel. After so many years of not understanding why my ex-husband is the way he is, we were married for 10 years and now divorced for 6. Narcissism popped up on my Pinterest and I started hyper-focusing on research as I tend to do. I'm either hyper-focused or completely uninterested in any given subject. He meets all the criteria for NPD with antisocial aspects. That's the way I am. I'm either hyper-focused on someone or completely disinterested in it. And you can't get me to care about something I'm disinterested in, ever. You never could. I've been divorced from my ex for almost 6 years and we're back in court now. We have a mediation next Wednesday and I'm terrified of a lot of things surrounding the situation. That's why I've been reluctant to share my story. I'm afraid he will find out about it somehow and I can't afford that because I'm always afraid he'll use anything against me. I really don't know where to start. I was raised by 2 loving, supportive parents, but I've often found myself in relationships where I was giving more than receiving. The main one is my narcissistic ex-husband and father of my now 15-year-old son. We were married for 10 years. I met my ex at work when I was about 21 and he was 25. I had a history of dating crap guys, but I guess I won the crappy guy lottery with this one. I'm sure he saw right through me as a target for his bullshit. He was right. After 4 months of whirlwind dating, I was pregnant. We got married 2 months after that discovery. Way too quick and too young. I was from a family where people stayed happily married for life. My parents, after 45 years, are partners the way couples should be partners. Legitimately in love after all this time. They rely on each other, consult each other on decisions. The level of respect and love between them is astounding. So I thought I could love my ex to make our little family work, even though I saw a few red flags just before finding out I was pregnant. Nothing really concrete, just that feeling that something isn't quite right. That's when we ended up married and living at my grandparents' house. They were both deceased, so my mom said we could live there, and we fixed it up a little. We fought a lot during my pregnancy. I hated that my baby was hearing all the yelling while still just in my belly. When his father was gone, I would sit in the rocking chair and read a baby book to him just to let him know his mother could be calm and comforting. And my ex has one of those deep, loud, bellowing voices. I still have a startle reflex from unexpected booming voice. Makes my heart rush and feels like rocks in my stomach. I hate that. There's a lot of other reasons for my fight or flight responses. Maybe that's another story. After our son was born, we fought even more. My ex would punch the walls, throw things, scream in my face to the point where he could feel his saliva hitting me in the face, etc. God forbid if our son was crying and couldn't stop, my ex would get impatient with an infant for crying. I fucking hated it. Once, while I was holding our newborn, we were arguing and he shoved me hard. I'm lucky I didn't drop my baby or fall with them in my arms. He always wanted to leave the house during these fights. Stupid me. I never wanted to let him leave. I was always afraid he wouldn't return. He seemed to love our son, even though I felt like he was a little too harsh with our son. And I always thought we could calmly talk things out. Also stupid of me. But I had no idea at all. One particular fight ended up in the driveway with him in his truck and me standing in the driver's side door, trying to get him to come back into the house and talk things out. Like I said, I didn't know what I was dealing with. He ended up punching the radio in his truck so hard that he broke it and made his own hand bleed. Idiot. He shoved me out of the way and shut the truck door and took off. I went back in the house to grab our son out of his crib and hold him. There was a Hispanic family across the street that knew my grandparents when they were still alive. After being inside the house for a few minutes after this incident, there was a knock at the door. I answered it, and the daughter, same age as me at the time, said her mother wanted to pray with me. I'm a Christian, so of course I accepted. This little old lady prayed in Spanish over me in such a heartfelt way I cried. I couldn't understand her exact words, but I knew she was praying, and it really touched me. I cried a lot in those days, and many times after that. A couple years passed, and when our son was 2 and I was 25, I was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer. My ex was there and oddly helpful, but I had to give my parents, especially my mom, credit for helping me the most. I worked graveyards at the time, so going through all the rigorous cancer treatments and working overtime and caring for my son in the evenings was a bit much some days. There were days when I went to chemo alone if my parents, a detective and a nurse, couldn't get off work. My ex admitted to me once that he told his boss, who is also his aunt, that he was going to chemo with me, and he played golf instead. He said it like it was funny. Hell, I didn't really mind being at chemo alone if I had to. I could watch the Ellen show for an hour and drive home just fine. I scheduled my chemo treatments on Thursdays knowing it would take a day or two for me to feel like complete shit. But at least I could feel like shit on the weekend and not as much, but I still kind of like shit at work. Actually, one time while I was going through chemo, we got into some arbitrary argument, and I had no hair at this time, and my ex said in retort, "Okay, you little bald," and trailed off. I called him out on it, and he made it out like he was joking. Typical. They're always joking. I went through the whole thing with my breast cancer. Chemo port installed in my chest, going to my heart. The type of cancer I had made me eligible for a study drug. Did that. More chemo, then radical mastectomy. I was bald and missing a breast and working graveyards with a toddler. It was rough. I didn't even feel human, much less like a woman. And my sweet little son was so amazing through it all. But I hate that he saw his mommy so sick. That really hurts my heart because he was only 2 years old and didn't understand. Then more chemo and working to pay bills. And after that, my hair finally started growing again. I had an excellent surgeon for reconstruction of my left breast. I still had to go to radiation for 90 days and then drug study once a week for a year. Oh, and then take a pill for 5 years after that. Those times are kind of a blur. Sorry, I went on the cancer tangent. The biggest thing that got me through cancer was my son and my will to live for him. A sense of humor, my parents, and occasionally my ex. He did bathe me a few times after surgery, to his credit, but my mom or myself mostly did everything. I roll. About the time I was done with treatments and everything, my ex and I got in this huge fight. I asked him if he was so unhappy, why hadn't he divorced me? He said, "I'm not going to be that guy who ditches his wife when she has cancer." Then he kicked a hole in the bathroom door and told me he wished he had never stuck his dick in me. Nice, right? That's the guy that cares, right? When I told him that's like wishing we didn't have our son, he said, "When you told me you were pregnant, I should have said see ya. Hit me up for child support, stupid fucking bitch. But I didn't. I married you. Thanks for the favor, asshole." Ollie, I have a lot more things to share, and sometimes hard to organize them in my head, and especially in writing. One memory leads to another, and another, and another. All of them terrible. And it's like they go in circles. And like you said, even the so-called good memories are served on a broken plate. That's one of the more poignant things I've heard you say, and you say a lot of poignant things. As I usually do, I've written what I've written to you like 10 times, and each time I read it, I realize it's only about 25% of the story. It's aggravating that I can't get it all out like on a timeline. But if I did, it would take me a week to write and you an hour to read. I'll write again, hopefully, and bottom line is there was manipulation, gaslighting, telling me I am a no good mother, not a good wife, not a decent woman because I hate shopping. That's where it gets jointed for me to tell an outsider. Anyone that loves me has seen it unfold. It's just too many things. It just sucks because I haven't gotten close to the current court issue and the mediation I have to engage with this prick on Wednesday. Anonymous. You know, that really this line sums it up. When you told me you were pregnant, I should have said see ya. Hit me up for child support. Stupid fucking bitch. But I didn't. I married you. Thanks for the thanks for the favor, asshole. The narcissist believes that. He believes it. He believes he did you a favor by marrying you. That's the narcissist deep down. If you ask them in their heart of hearts, they think, they make themselves believe, or they believe it for real, that they're somehow doing you a favor by treating you like this, because they will lie to themselves in their heads that you need it. It's for your own good. He believes it. He believes he did you a favor. And when you go out and you beg him not to leave as he's punching his car radio and making his hand bleed and he comes back, you only solidify that position to him, that he can abuse you like that. And you're going to go out to your driveway and beg him not to go. Beg him not to leave. That's why he believes. And you have it right. Thanks for the favor. In his mind, that's what he did. He's doing you a favor. You deserved it. You needed it. That's what they do in their own heads. Listen, I might have told maybe 25% of my whole story, and I've got over 1,000 videos on here, and I've been doing this now for 3 years. The story is going to take the rest of your life to come out. Don't rush it. Comes out as it comes out in stages. And what you remember today, you might not remember tomorrow. And what you remember tomorrow, you might remember it differently as you get another perspective and another perspective and another perspective. These narcissists, they're simple but complex at the same time. There's a lot of rabbit holes. But that's just it. That's where the entitlement comes from, because he's going to be sitting there in court thinking, I gave you 10 years. I did you a favor. Anything the narcissist does for you, it doesn't matter that you're his wife suffering from cancer. He bathed you a few times. He did you a favor. He went above and beyond. In his mind, the narcissist always thinks they're doing you a favor. So Thank you for your contribution and thank you for your story, Anonymous. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comments section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, a narcissist you'd like to expose, you'd like to set up a Skype chat, phone call, have a private video made, or a Facebook chat, or you'd like to sponsor a video like this for someone who can't afford one, or sponsor the channel in general to see it grow, help the bills get paid, keep the lights on, which is always great. Need those. You know what to do with the PayPal and email links in the description box. And if you're still unclear, wait for the instructional video link to pop up on the screen at the end of this video to walk you through all of that. Please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been The Narcissistic Resistance. Take care.